Invincible Season 4 delayed. So a few days ago, Robert Kirkman had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and there he talked about Invincible, and there's some news about it and some updates. Let's get right into it. So in terms of Season 4 updates, the main one was that Robert Kirkman confirms Invincible Season 4 will release before the end of 2026. So at face value, you're going to be thinking, oh, what's wrong with that? Okay, we got more of an update on this. More of a timeline, I guess. Well, here's the thing. The reason why this is kind of, well, it's not worrisome per se, but it is, I guess, sad news, is because originally Robert Kirkman a few months ago was saying that they're trying to get the seasons out every year, obviously, with Season 4 coming out in early 2026. Around that time would be every season, but particularly Season 4 will be early 2026. Everything in like around February, March, something. Either way, probably like the first quarter of 2026. But this news now, this means that will not be happening. Before the end of 2026 means that, okay, I'm thinking like September, October, November, and worst case scenario, that means December, correct? So if it's December, I'm going to be in shambles. All of us will probably be in shambles. But we know it's going to be quality. It just sucks waiting longer than, I don't know, like, I guess it was maybe false hope thinking it would come out. Because he did say it was just a goal. That's what they're trying to do. That was like the estimate, but it could be longer, which it makes sense. But still, regardless, it's just sad to see. We'll know it'll be quality, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they're facing some issues right now in terms of the production of the show. That could be possible. I'm not too sure what else, or maybe just taking that long just to get the quality right. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that means that, or maybe before the end of 2026, it's very loose. It's very loose, but it makes you think probably during fall type of time. That's when it's going to come out. But I'm not too sure. Let me know what you think down below about that. And in terms of more news, we had, okay, this is from the Invincible count, but they were pretty much just talking about the Robert Kirkman panel, and they said, we can now confirm that Matthew Rhys, I think that's how you say his name, is voicing Dinosaurus. Bro, I can't read. I actually can't read. This is insane. And here's a first look at the character design. And then here it is. You can see it right here. Looking nice. I don't know what to say. Nothing crazy, obviously, but just looking nice. Looks like one of those goon type villains, one of those low level villains. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know, but to me, this does not look like a good guy. But I might be just judging here. Let me think about that down below. And then the next thing is that Robert Kirkman says the animation for Invincible will improve each season. Quote, I will say the animation is absolutely rad. The conquest fight at the end of Season 3 shows where the show is going and the heights the show can achieve. We're hoping to hit those heights more and more, end quote. So like I was saying, piggybacking on the initial news that we started this video off, that Invincible Season 4 is most likely, it's definitely been delayed to the end of 2026. So it's not releasing in early 2026 like how it was initially planned or what they were trying to go for. Maybe that goal was unrealistic because the animation, right? First of all, we know, the Invincible animation conversation is very controversial. I think it's fine. I know there's some times where it's like, the whole, what is it, the JPEG, PNG type jokes are made, whatever. I guess sometimes where it's like that, they have to also, they're restricted with their budget as well. And I know people say, oh wait, the voice actors, you don't need to get all these big names. Why don't you spend less on that and put that towards the budget? I hear everyone. I hear all sides out. Okay, I get it. But with that being said, they're still trying to improve the animation each season while also streamlining the process of getting seasons out way quicker, like annually. That's what they're trying to go for. So with that, those are two things that are hard to do in unison. It's kind of like a give or take type thing. So it's like, okay, if you want to release each season annually, usually the quality goes down, right? And on top of that, they don't want that. So they're still trying to go for quality. They're working in advance and stuff, whatever. So that's the point. But then also they're trying to get the animation even better, like just topping it, just getting it even better than probably the last season. So with that, and we see the big fight sequences like in Season 3, Conquest. So they're going to keep on trying to do like big stuff like that, even bigger, better, more advanced. It's going to take more time, but if you're trying to get a season out each year, it kind of goes against that. That's what I'm trying to say. and also goes to the quality thing, right? So that's the problem. That's the problem they're having. I'm guessing it's probably animation why the season's getting delayed. If they're trying to improve it, like they're saying here each season, because each season you can assume it's going to get more and more just bigger scale, especially with some of the insane stuff that's coming up. It's going to take a lot more just time, effort, obviously. So it makes sense. I think that might be the reason why. And obviously, Robert Kirkman is very, very particular on the qualities, making sure that the quality doesn't dip. That's why, like I know, I just know the quality's not going to dip. So we just gotta give it time. We gotta just let them have time for this, and it'll be worth the wait at least. And the next thing is that Robert Kirkman says he hopes an Invincible show goes for 7 to 9 seasons. And this is obviously also news at San Diego Comic-Con. And this is kind of just an update from one of my videos from a bit ago, pretty much where I was saying that Robert Kirkman's plan was for 7 to 8 seasons, maybe. I think that's what I was saying about. And pretty much that was changed. He already kind of like backtracked on that anyways after, not too long after that. But now kind of got updated about it. And he's saying just for what's already been in the comics, he's saying that the source material is about 7 to 9 seasons to actually get it all properly done, sorted. So if it's and that's assuming, I guess, that they wouldn't be adding any new storylines, like expanding, I suppose, like expand, like how in the upcoming season, Robert Kirkman's adding like that new storyline where he's expanding on something that he was gonna use in the comics, I'm pretty sure, in source material, but then he didn't. So this assuming is straight up all a source material. So if they start adding more stuff, like with that one thing in season 4 where they keep on expanding, adding like actual new stuff that wasn't in the source material, it could go even further. They could go even more seasons. That's at least the way I understand what I'm thinking. But let me know think about that down below. We don't want to get stretched out, obviously, but also, if they have stuff that's worthwhile telling that they didn't include in there that they think is good enough, that would make sense. Why not go for it? Maybe go to extra like season or 2. I don't know. We'll see. And for the people who are doubting, like the show's definitely gonna make it all the way throughout, unless it's a thing where Amazon or something does something dumb, and like because a lot of these streaming platforms or companies, they just randomly cancel good shows, right? So that's the only way I can see Invincible getting canceled. Otherwise, there will always be a big audience there for it, waiting for it. If the big audience is still there after that whole wait between the seasons, I think, what was it, between season 1 and 2? Yeah, if you had an audience for that, oh man, you're gonna be good. Okay, you're gonna be good. If they go wait between these earlier seasons, and you have the audience still, you'll be good for the rest of these, trust me, especially with the streamlining process, getting them around every year or so. But also another thing I think it proves that back to the seasons thing is that more than likely they'll probably not hit the 1-year goal every year, trying to get in early 2026, probably like February. So they're probably not going to hit that. I feel like that was pretty unrealistic for the production time, the turnaround time. It would be a lot of crunching. You don't want to do that either. It's just too much work, to be honest, especially if you're trying to make sure it's quality as well, which they are. So it makes sense, but then again, just have to wait a bit longer, probably like a 1.5 years, 2 years, maybe. Sometimes it could be less for the seasons, but I think that's more realistic of a timeline, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. And the next part, this is the last bit of news we have here. 2 more things. Robert Kirkman has revealed that all of Thragg's lines have been recorded for Invincible Season 4. And we know it's because they're already working on Invincible Season 5. They already said the voice recording has been done for Season 4, so that's nothing new. And then he follows up by saying, but he refuses to reveal the voice actor behind the character, which is going to be a huge reveal. You don't really want to spoil that. Kind of like how Jeffrey Dean Morgan was casted as a voice actor for Conquest. We knew that he was in the show for a long time, but we didn't know who it was going to be. They were keeping that, very close in the tuck. They didn't want people to know, because that's a huge surprise as well. So it's also going to be a very big name. That's what we're expecting. Someone that's beloved. We're just not going to know for a while. That's how it is. And then lastly, Robert Kirkman was asked at San Diego Comic-Con if Adam Eve can use less glass shields and have more development on her powers. And Robert Kirkman, his response was hilarious. All he said was, I'll try to write better, because he also wanted that too. I guess it kind of is a meme, but Adam Eve is hella powerful though, with those shields and everything for all her powers, as we saw in season 3. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I thought it was a little nice way to end it. I'll try to write better. Who knows? We'll see if actually anything happens with this. I really don't know. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next one. Peace.